Hi there, welcome to the space in between, the space between. These are little mini podcasts that I'm going to be doing, and today I wanted to just share a little bit more about me so you have a sense of who I am, where I came from, how I came to be doing this type of work and thinking about the human mind and the human soul in this way. And I wanted to share a blog post with you all that I posted in January of 2016. And I wrote this when I was still in the midst of struggling with how to make sense of these two worlds that I was straddling and who I wanted to be in all of this and how I wanted to use what I had been learning and the mediumship work that I was doing while also still being a clinical psychologist. So this is a piece that I wrote. It first appeared on Suburban Misfit Mom, and here it is. Conventional. It's such a funny word. See, I was raised in a very conventional family of doctors who believed wholeheartedly in science. My grandfather was a prominent pediatrician in the community who was and still is extremely respected for his scientific mind. I am also a doctor of a different type, a doctor of feelings, as my kids call me. The real term, a clinical psychologist who is fascinated by the human mind, the human condition, and its complexities. My grandfather, the aforementioned doctor and scientist, couldn't help his oldest child when she came down with the mumps at the age of 10. He couldn't help her when she developed juvenile onset diabetes shortly after, and he couldn't help her when she passed away at 48 due to diabetes complications. I was 18 at the time and remember it well. In fact, I believe her life shaped who I am today. Unconventional in so many ways, and her death has likely shaped it even more. Shortly after my aunt passed away, I began having visits from her. At the time, I didn't know they were visits. I, like so many, thought they were dreams. Dreams where I would know things I couldn't have possibly known and seen things only she could have told me. This made very little sense to my scientific brain that was studying to be a clinical psychologist to understand the human mind. So I wrote it off as my unconscious trying to tell me something, as any good graduate student would do. And then, years later, my papa passed away. And again, similar things started happening. Messages for cousins about life and love. I could manage this. I would just call those who the messages were for and tell them I had a dream and describe to them what happened. Now that I was a practicing psychologist, there was not a whole lot of room for questioning the expansiveness of the human mind across space and time, and the connections that exist beyond time and space as we know it. So I tried again to dismiss it. And then it started happening with patients. Impressions from their loved ones who had passed, images flashing in my mind's eye, which meant nothing to me, but likely something to them. Unfortunately, there was nothing I could say in these moments but to keep these messages to myself and try to understand what to do with this information. And I have. For about 15 years, I've struggled with how to understand this gift, as people call it. I think we all have the gift of intuition. Just some of us choose to foster it and others do not. So this is where I currently stand. A mother of 3 young children, an active PTA mom who sits on school boards and shuffles kids around and struggles with the parenting tasks we all face. All the while, trying to figure out how to use this gift to continue to help heal the human soul and the human mind. But until I can figure that out, I will remain conventional and anonymous. Like what you heard today and want to hear more? Curious about what comes next and what it all means? You can subscribe on iTunes. Just go to podcasts and find Life, Death, and the Space Between and hit subscribe. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dr. Amy Robbins. Ask me any questions you might have, let me know what else you'd love to hear about, or just share your story. I can't wait to hear from you.